Good evening, dear friends. Welcome. I hope you're able to hear me. Yes, wonderful. So, welcome to this new masterclass series from Pyramid Valley. My name is Sai Krupasagar, for those of you who don't know me. So, I've been doing sessions on behalf of Pyramid Valley, and I also do a lot of experience sharing across different PSSM organizations, including Buddha CEO, PMC English, and PSSM America. So this is a new course. It talks about mindfulness. We will cover more about that. And for those of you who have attended my earlier sessions, you know it's always going to be interactive. And I'm going to give you a lot of exercises to your thumbs on the keyboard or on the phone. So first exercise is, let's all share where we are joining from. Just type in the name of the place, name of the city where you're joining from so that I can be a bit more contextual. Very good. Mysuru, Bangalore, Mumbai, London. Yeah, it's a good time for London, I guess. Bangalore, Chennai, LA. Okay. Bangalore, Delhi, Arlington, Virginia. Thank you. Singapore, UK, Noida, St. Louis, USA, Gangtok, Sikkim, wonderful. MD, USA, Bangalore, France, okay. All right, so wonderful. So, yes, thank you for joining across Germany. Thank you for joining across the globe. And I will definitely make sure every minute of your time you're spending with me on this session is worth it for you. And that's what we want to learn. Salem, USA. Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. And how many of you are attending my program or a Pyramid Valley program for the first time? Just type yes. Others don't need to do. Just type yes for people who are attending this first time. Oh, okay. It's a lot of new people. Welcome to the Pyramid Valley program. First time my program. Wonderful. All right. So thank you. I know it will not be the last time attending any of our programs. Super. Great. Thank you. I'm going to close the chat window. So we'll get to the chat window later whenever we want to do. So let's dive in. And obviously, I'm going to use a little bit of slides. So what we're going to do is for around 40 or 45 minutes, I'll do the talking about mindfulness. So every session is going to be that way, 40 to 45 minutes, we're going to do the talking. And then 20 minutes of guided meditation. All right, so mostly relevant to that particular topic is what we will hear. All right, so let's get started. All right. I hope you're able to see the slides. Okay, sec. Where did the other thing go? All right, so we're going to discuss mindfulness as a superpower. You'll understand why I am talking about it as a superpower. We'll talk about what we mean by mindfulness. There are dime a dozen definitions of mindfulness. And of course, the underlying premise is always meditation cultivates the power of mindfulness. You might have guessed that. So we're going to get into a transformative journey into mindfulness. And it's a lot more than relaxation. It's an active superpower. How do we use our superpower? So this program, though we do a lot of other programs regarding meditation, this program is not specifically about learning meditation. Though we will do meditation, though newcomers, beginners can join the meditation, that's how we're going to guide. But this program is not precisely, we're not going to talk about the benefits and science, though we'll cover a bit of meditation. It's more about what does meditation give us and how are we going to apply. What does meditation give us? So, what does meditation give us is what we're going to talk about, and how do we apply that? How do we cultivate that skill from meditation and outside of meditation? That is what this program is going to be. And as I said, we're going to do this over 6 sessions. And what we are going to do is we're going to become a master of attention and awareness. And we're going to see how we can transform stress and anxiety into calm presence. How does it help in relationships? How does it help in workplace? How does it help in health? Right, as I said, 6 weekly sessions. For six, sorry, not 6 weekly sessions, 6 sessions. As you know, it's on Tuesdays and Fridays. This time, 8 to 9:15 p.m. IST. Good for people in India, and then of course also people around the globe. And so we're going to do 40 to 45 minutes of lecture, and then following that, we're going to do a 20 minutes of meditation. And this course, like my previous courses and the stillness retreat, is based on scriptural wisdom, the suttas or sutras. So this course is going to be based on the 2005-year-old, 500-year-old Satipatthana Sutta. Some of you might have been attending some of the sessions. You know, breath, my breath is based on Anapanasati Sutta. This is based on Satipatthana Sutta, and my stillness retreat is broadly based on Yoga Sutras, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So I always love to kind of take our scriptural yogic wisdom, combine it with neuroscience, and see how we can apply that into everyday life. All right. So we're going to this again, like usually all my courses, it's all about not just about theory. How do we apply it in practice? And as you can see here, the systematic cultivation of mindfulness throughout all four foundations is the only way to achieve freedom from suffering, like the Buddha quotes. All right. So what is mindfulness? So before we look at or understand mindfulness, we'll understand that from the perspective of the opposite, right? What is mindlessness? Mindlessness is operating from autopilot. What happens? It's when you have a scattered attention, unconscious habitual reactions without present moment awareness, right? So when we don't have the present moment awareness, we unconsciously keep doing things. That is when we act out of mindlessness. So when we jump from one thought to another, when we are unable to focus on what's in front of us, right? We keep reading the same thing again and again, or listening to the same thing again and again, or trying to do the same thing without understanding why we are doing. And absorption elsewhere, physically present but mentally absent. Body doing one thing, mind is somewhere else. So that's mindlessness. Unconscious reactions, automatic responses. Something happens, I go on, my body and mind automatically react. So that's mindlessness. Habitual patterns running the show. We are not conscious of why we are doing what we are doing, right? And living in the past or living in the future, not experiencing now. That is mindlessness. And literally no awareness of physical sensations, missing stress signals when you're overwhelmed, disconnected from emotions until it comes out in some other form. So these are all examples or characteristics of mindlessness, where you are not in the present moment. That's the basic definition, right? And the shocking reality is Harvard Research 2010 found people, or most of us, spend 47% of our waking hours in mindless mind wandering. And obviously, when we are mind wandering, though we might have some hedonic pleasure, but that is never fulfilling, never satisfying. Full satisfaction, complete fulfillment comes in whatever work that we are doing 100% in the moment. So what are some of the causes of mindfulness? Life passes by unnoticed, right? So we are already into end of January. Sometimes we feel, oh my God, it was just the new year the other day. And we're already in Jan to December. What the hell did I do? Where did the week go? Where did the month go? And very soon it'll be end of the year. What did I do the whole year? So that's like going through the time zone mindlessly. not paying attention to what matters, right? So we pay through poor decisions, the costs of mindlessness, not paying attention, chronic stress, because we are never in the present moment. We're always, our brain is so active, so scattered, right? And not being mindful in relationships results in damaged relationships. And being absent minded results in accidents, results in mistakes, right? Feeling like life is happening to you rather than participating fully. So mindfulness isn't a bad character flaw, isn't bad. It's the human default mode. But what we are trying to do with this course and then a lot of literature and books and through the practices of meditation is we can train ourselves to be mindful. Right? Some examples here. So if you know mindless driving, I mean, all of us who drive are guilty of that, right? Sometimes we drive through so mindlessly, listening to something or thinking about something. Listening to call is okay, but thinking about something and suddenly we begin from home and are at work, and suddenly we don't know how the hell which path did I come to, right? So mindful driving is basically feeling your body fully as you drive, and believe me, that's an amazing experience. Some of might have experienced when you are traveling at high speed. That's when your mindfulness is because your mind is alert, right? But when you are going through the same route every day, every time, mind is not that alert, right? So that's an example: mindful driving versus mindless driving. Similarly, when you are at dinner, endlessly checking phone or you're watching TV, suddenly you don't know whether you had one roti or two rotis or three rotis, right? That is mindlessness. Mindful eating is phone away, devices away, completely focused, and we practice that during our stillness retreats. So full attention on what somebody is saying, or full attention on the food, feeling the food with your five senses, relishing it, however be it, right? Listening to your body. So that's mindful uh, eating, right? Similarly, we also do stressful email at work. Suddenly we get an email and we look at it and we want to respond. We get angry at seeing that email and we want to immediately respond. How many of us have done that, right? We regret it 15 minutes later. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I should have thought about it. Immediately we try and see if we can recall the email. So reading the email mindfully, listening to it, let it go, let your emotions settle down, and then responding. So that's an example of a mindful response. Similarly, someone criticizes us. What happens? Right? Immediately our emotions take over, right? How the hell he can talk about it, right? Immediately we become defensive. It could be during a presentation, during a meeting, or anytime we are putting forth an argument, right? So somebody attacks our viewpoint, immediately we take a back seat. We become defensive or we become aggressive, right? So we forget to even listen to the other person's point. It's in the end, it is possible that the other person point might be making a valid point or may probably ending up supporting you. But the moment he said something else, then we kind of jump into it, right? So mindfully being there, listening completely to the point, right? Then complete point and then responding. So that's mindfulness. The pattern that you notice, as you can see here, is mindlessness is runs on autopilot. There is a reaction, and then you regret, and then problems multiply. Whereas mindful response is you are in complete awareness. There is a pause that happens always when we are mindful. And then you make a conscious choice to respond now or to respond to that email right now or later, to respond to that particular person now or later. And how do I respond? Your response is also a lot measured. So that is, it results in better outcomes. So same situations, same people, same challenges, but completely different experience happens when we are reacting or when you are mindless versus mindful. And we can see here what is the precious resource. We're going to talk about those two precious resources: attention and awareness, right? And mindfulness, in our definition, I think we'll get to that. There's nothing but an optimal combination of attention and awareness at any point of time. In fact, in my breath by breath courses, I add another A: attention plus awareness plus acceptance or non-judgment, right? So we're going to talk about non-judgmental awareness. So attention is our precious resource. And You can see the results here, right? An average person checks the phone 96 times per day, which is almost every 10 minutes probably. And there are these tech companies that vie for our attention through all these shorts and reels and messages and notifications. Notifications are designed to hijack focus, and multitasking has become the norm. So what is the cost? And it takes 23 minutes to refocus. Time needed after each interruption. You're working on something, suddenly a ping, suddenly a notification happens, then you deviate, and for you to get back on the job, it takes 23 minutes to refocus. As you see here when study. And then because of the task switching that happens frequently, there's a 40% productivity loss. So some of us, that's what we do, right? I mean, at work, I used to do, and I've seen quite a few people do. When I need to do really completely focused activity, I go block my calendar saying I'm busy, and it shows red on all the statuses. So nobody disturbs. Even if somebody disturbs, somebody calls, somebody sends an email, there is no pressure for me to respond because they will think I'm in a meeting, and I'm completely focused on what I am doing, right? So what, and then even personal well-being, chronic distraction causes chronic stress. In fact, the other day I was listening to a neuroscientist who talks about how scrolling on the phone, everything that you see, the brain looks at it only for a few seconds, and immediately there is a change of context to the next reel or the next shot, right? And the brain has to kind of get used to it, and again there is a switch of context. So the switch of context on every reel, every time you scroll, costs precious brain resources. It taxes the brain. You'll feel tired just the way you feel physically tired, right? So, and then a lot of us can't finish a meal without checking phone. In fact, in the earlier days, when you used to have Blackberries, when I was given a Blackberry initially by my company, so every time there is a beep, you get the pleasure of taking it out and then watching it, or looking for the notifications or looking for email, what is happening. In fact, it used to be so bad during those days. If you didn't get a beep for, like, say 15 minutes, you'll be wondering what is wrong, right? So that is how we were all addicted to those, and now I can't even tell. So the uncomfortable truth, excuse me. And then, yeah, so obviously in relationships, right? Damages, phone snubbing damages intimacy. Children feel less important than screens. We're all in our screens, right? Partners disconnect, feeling unseen. So we're all present in body, but absent in mind. So the uncomfortable truth here is our attention determines your experience. And we all know where your attention goes, your life follows. We also know where your attention goes, energy follows. Where energy flows, attention goes. Where your attention goes, life follows. Right? If you're doing things all mindlessly, then obviously things will also be that way. Right? And this course is all about reclaiming that attention, reclaiming that precious resource. And what you can't pay attention to, you can't change. You can't manage stress you didn't notice building till it shows up as a disease. You can't resolve conflicts when you are not completely present. You can't enjoy moments you are not experiencing. You can't enjoy that wonderful food that someone has given you without fully experiencing it when you are on the phone or when you are in front of a TV. You can't build skills that you can't focus on. You can't connect with people you are distracted from. So that's the essence. The focus, the attention is so important in our everyday life that most of the time we take it for granted and we don't spend things on it, right? In a world designed to fragment our attention, learning to control our own focus is a genuine superpower. This is a lot more needed now than it was needed 10 years ago or before the advent of mobile phones. And thanks to the mobile phones, thanks to the tech companies, right? They try to kind of always try to seek our attention, and we have become a servant to that. Now we are trying to reclaim attention as a superpower so that we are the master of our life. And as you know, athletes, musicians, leaders, artists, scientists, one shared trait is exceptional attention control. You look at tennis players, look at cricket players, they need to focus. Focus and attention is very important for everybody, right? And we are about to train that. We are about to do that training. So what we will develop in this course is different skills of attention, right? As you can see here, there is selective attention where we focus on what matters. We filter out the distractions. We stay with one thing until complete. And then there is sustained attention. So selective attention is we choose what we want to focus on. Sustained attention is focusing on a particular thing for a continuous time, holding the focus for extended periods. And that means we resist the impulse to switch tasks. There is a notification, there is a ping, and we don't switch. So we completely focus on what we are doing. So that builds mental stamina. And then there is something called meta awareness or meta attention, where you know what you're paying attention to. Right? It's like one level above. You notice when attention wanders and you consciously redirect focus. Right? So that's the skill. So we're going to learn that. I mean, some of you have been practicing meditation, you know that's exactly what we do in meditation. Right? So the second thing is awareness. So the two things, mindfulness consists of two components, attention and awareness, right? What is awareness? Awareness, obviously you cannot change what you're not aware of. Awareness is the first and essential step in any transformation. Without awareness, we saw patterns, that's the mindlessness, right? Without awareness. So in a sense, mindfulness, I mean, irrespective of whatever definitions are out there, please consider mindfulness as a heightened level of awareness or heightened level of consciousness. That's it. When you are at a heightened level of awareness, then you can choose to focus your attention where you want to be. You are the master of your attention. So without awareness, patterns run unconsciously. We repeat the same mistakes. We react automatically. We feel stuck, powerless, as if something isn't under control. And we keep thinking, why does this keep happening to me? With awareness, we see patterns clearly. Oh, that was due to my belief. Let me question that belief. You create space for choice and we interrupt automatic reactions because there is a space that comes up because of awareness. And we experience agency. Agency is control, right? We are able to control and you can decide I can respond to differently. And there are some real world examples here. Health. As you can say, I mean, I think we'll cover some of these a little bit in a few slides. So you're stressed for weeks. If you're not aware, it'll go completely unnoticed and suddenly you become sick. But when you're able to feel the tension in your body, when you're able to feel something is wrong, on day two, you're able to take an adequate rest and prevent illness. Similarly, relationships and argument escalates, right? And then we exchange hurtful words and the damage is done. But when you're able to feel feel the anger rising, when you're able to feel your emotions rising, you pause and then you speak more carefully. That's what happens between partners or between kids and parents as well, right? And at work, you are working, multitasking, doing a lot of things. You get burnt out, and then you quit. Oh my God! Either you tell something to a colleague or something to a boss, or you quit, whatever it is. Then you start regretting. Whereas when you are aware, we recognize the signs early. We adjust what we need to do, and then our career grows, right? And similarly, a lot of habits, phone checking 96 times daily. We notice the urge, we try to avoid. So that's the essence of mindfulness. So how does awareness create transformation? As we just saw, we can't transform, we can't change anything that you're not aware of. If you're aware of a habit that is bothering you, then there is okay, then there is an essence of going and changing that habit. But if you're not even aware that you're doing wrong, that something is harming you, then there's no question of going changing it, right? You can transform it, you can change only something that you are aware of. And neuroscience tells us simply labeling an emotion, I'm feeling anxious, reduces the limbic brain activation, the amygdala activation by up to 50%. Because when we label it, we are aware of that and we are giving it a word, right? This is another technique that we normally teach to kind of avoid thoughts during meditation, Right? Simply labeling an emotion reduces the amygdala activation. And the act of awareness itself changes your brain's response. Just bringing an awareness to a problem begins solving it. This is again one of the biggest teachings from Buddha. It's spread across all the different suttas that he talks about, including Anapanasati Sutta, right? And that is why we say when we are meditating, when we feel a pain, when we feel a discomfort, observe that, focus on that, right? And over time, you'll see the pain dissolving. Just bringing awareness to a habit, just bringing awareness to a problem starts, the problem starts solving itself. That is the awareness paradox. Just bringing awareness to a problem begins solving it. When you observe tension, tension releases. When you notice anxiety, anxiety lessens. When you see a pattern, that pattern weakens because awareness itself is intervention. And here in this course, we're going to talk about different levels of awareness. I think I'll cover that in one of the slides. We're talking about body awareness, we're going to talk about emotional awareness and mental awareness, right? And like Viktor Franklin says, between stimulus and awareness, so the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The way we respond to situations, to people, to relationships decides how fast we grow and how much of freedom we experience. And awareness creates that space. So, a quick graphic on how mindfulness develops attention and awareness. So, mindfulness isn't separate from attention and awareness. So, attention is the spotlight, like you see here. Attention is the spotlight, focused, selective, directed, right? You choose what to notice, you zoom in on what you need to notice, you concentrate on one thing. For example, in meditation, what we do, feeling the breath at our nostrils or feeling the breath at our tummy. So we choose one. When we want to do something, for example, when I'm speaking to you, I'm focusing here. But at the same time, I'm aware whether the slide is showing the right slide or not. And I'm also aware of the time, right? So that is the floodlight is the awareness, whereas attention is that focus, the torchlight or the spotlight. The floodlight allows you to be open, receptive, panoramic, knowing the whole field of experience. It gives you the context, it gives you the background, and it shows everything happening at once. For example, during meditation, you know your breath, but at the same time, you're aware of the sounds, you are aware of the body sensations, you are aware of the thought drifting, mind wandering, and what you do immediately, you pull it back. You pull it back only when you are mindful. When you are mindless, you allow it to go. Very similar. You are driving. Suddenly you see something on the road, attention focuses. But then broadly you are aware of a lot of things that are happening, right? You just don't focus on what is happening right in front of you. So mindfulness is basically using both skillfully. And that's what we're going to do, right? Training attention to focus where you choose, expanding awareness to know what's happening, and moving fluidly between spotlight and floodlight, and knowing when each is needed. That's what is mindfulness. So, why is mindfulness such a superpower? So, now, quick definition: mindfulness is an optimum combination of attention and awareness. And we need attention and awareness every moment. The moment you are not aware of something or you're not focusing attention, your mind is scattered, you're no longer mindful. In this series of masterclass, we're going to learn mindfulness through several means, right? Not just through meditation, to several other practices as well. And common misconception is mindfulness is just relaxing, being calm, passively accepting everything, being in the moment without purpose, emptying your mind of all thoughts, right? So that is not mindfulness. The real definition, as Buddha says, is sati. That is what is anapanasati. Mindfulness is purposeful, discriminating attention with three components: attention, evaluation, and intention. Again, it's not analysis. Attention is consciously directing focus to present experience, right? Where you notice different things at different time, your body, your emotions, sensations, something like that. Evaluation is clear understanding, accurate judgment. Asking, is this helpful or harmful? Is this skillful or unskillful? Is it serving my well-being or it doesn't, right? So that space allows you to make that evaluation, not analysis. Again, we don't go into big analysis, right? And then there is an intention. When I am doing mindful eating, the intention is to eat. Intention is to consume food. And how am I doing? I'm focusing attention on the food and evaluating. So now any thought that comes, I'm letting go. That's not good for my digestion. That's not good for me experiencing this, getting this wholesome experience of having food, right? So strong purpose and ardent effort is needed. So that's allowed cultivate uh, beneficial states, right? So three components: attention, evaluation, intention. Again, don't go deep into this. We're going to do a lot of practice. The superpower formula is attention, evaluation, and wise action. That's what transforms life, right? When I say attention, is nothing but focused awareness. When we say awareness, it's like broadened attention. So you can interchange that, but both have their own unique characteristics, right? And then we are not going to have our life transformed through passive observation or through judgment, right? So, or through negative judgment. So even if you need to develop good judgment, not just being purposeful, right? Not just, you need to know why you are doing what you are doing, right? So that's, dear friends, is what mindfulness is. We're going to cover, and the combination of attention and awareness. We talked a bit about. Okay. Why is it coming? Oh, okay. So we've got these. All right. I see we are limited to 99, but I think we know it's supposed to accommodate a lot more participants. I don't know who's getting missed out. Unfortunately, I need to check on what is happening. So I'm mindful of the message that came on the screen saying that you need to get a large meeting. We've got it. I don't know why it's not working today. Apologies to people who are not able to join. So here are the four foundations of mindfulness that Buddha elaborates in Satipatthana Sutta. Right? I'm sure some of you have read, but that's again, it's a volume. There's a lot of interpretations of it. So you're going to four foundations, four steps or four parts to it. Number one is mindfulness of body, this Kayanupasana. Body in the sense focusing on physical sensations, breath, posture, movement, right? And then it's all about the body. What happens to your body? And it's about you. We'll talk more about body today. Today's session will probably cover more about the body, right? Mindfulness of body. Whatever happens in your body, are you mindful? Are you aware of what is happening in the body? The next foundation. Each one of the rest kind of build on top of the other. All right. So mindfulness of feelings. The second one is mindfulness of feelings, and we'll talk about what are those feelings. Buddha talks about three essential feelings: pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling tones. The moment you recognize those, this happen even before it translates into an emotion. That is why we are not calling it as mindfulness of emotions. It's mindfulness of feelings. The moment you recognize a feeling, then it later translates into emotion, right? And then when you're mindful of a feeling, you can avoid any negative emotion from being a lot more bad, right? So recognizing emotional balances as there are. This is called balance. We will hear a lot about. There is a session on how do you make right decisions. How can you use attention, awareness, and balance to make right decisions, right? You need to get to a state before doing it. So we'll talk about it. So recognizing emotional balances and equanimity. All right. So then mindfulness of mind states of mind. So the states of mind are like calm, agitated, and focused, scattered, right? So understanding the mental patterns, why it is, recognizing mental states in yourself and others, understanding the mind's patterns. We will cover that in one session called mindfulness of mind states. So this helps us being free from being swept away by different states. And then finally, we're going to focus on mindfulness of thought or Dhammanupasana. So Buddha talks about there are four essential truths or insights. So we will kind of expand that a little bit. So it's more to do with the content of our consciousness. What is our mental patterns? We talk about pre-programmed patterns, beliefs, and things like that. So it's also kind of, we'll also talk about what prevents us from being to be mindful. There are some hindrances that Buddha talks about. And what it helps us is ultimate liberation from suffering. And each of these builds on one or the other. You need to be completely aware of your body for you to be mindful of your feelings. You need to be completely aware of your feelings for you to be mindful of your mind states. Only then you will know this or that, right? And then you need to be completely aware of your thought state, right? Kind of thoughts, kind of insights that you get for you to kind of be completely free from suffering. So, like levels of a pyramid, you can't skip steps. Each foundation provides a stability for next. All right, so let's begin with a body. Why start with the body? Body is the foundation of all awareness. Body is how we experience things, right? And some of you know that is the whole purpose, that our soul needs a body, needs a mind to kind of exist in this three-dimensional world. Body is our gateway to consciousness. Without body, you can't experience consciousness. The body, the reason why we start with the body is the one that's always existing in the present. Your body exists here and now. Thoughts can drift to past regrets or future worries, but your body sensations are always happening now. I don't know how many of you are aware of your body sensations as you listen to me speaking. Whenever you return to your body, you instantly return to your present moment. And please remember, when I speak about body, breath is part of the body. Some of you might have learned all this in terms of, okay, when you are with your breath, you are in the present moment. Perfectly right. Breath is an element of body. So when you are with your breath, or when you are with some part of your body, you are in the present moment, right? And then the way you'll kind of always move to the present moment is focus on your body, right? And body always reveals your emotional state. Another amazing finding by Buddha, validated by psychologists and neuroscientists thousands of years later. Every emotion has a physical signature. You might have realized that. When you're anxious, we have shallow breathing, tight chest, tense shoulders. When you're angry, we are red faced, we have a clenched jaw, we have rapid heartbeat. When you're sad, your body feels very heavy, your collapsed posture, it's almost like your body is tight, right? And then when you are joyful, when you're peaceful, you have an expansive chest, we have that lightness in our body. There's a warm sensation. Your body tells the truth even when your mind denies it. So body changes first, and then your mind listens to it, and it's kind of a loop, right? See, for example, whenever you feel the tension, you'll feel the emotions in your body first, and then your mind says, the mind can override, oh no, I'm not feeling tense, but your body will tell you the truth. And that is why it's essential for you to be mindful of your body, for you to recognize intuition, because one of the big components of intuition is your body sensations. All right. So you can't command stop thinking. You can't command your mind be calm now, because brain ignores the top down orders. But you can relax your shoulders, slow your breath, release jaw tension. When the body changes, the mind follows automatically. And the body work is measurable and concrete, right? You can get clear feedback. Am I feeling tense? Am I feeling relaxed? Am I feeling a pain somewhere? Am I holding some part stiff? Am I not? So you can get immediate feedback for you to work on everything, right? And you cannot master emotions without body awareness. You cannot observe thoughts without calm body mind, including the breath. And you can't develop wisdom without stable attention. Buddha's insight. Don't have it. Okay, so a calm body supports a calm mind. And Buddha focuses on body mind stillness, which is again developed through anapanasati. Body mind stillness supports emotional equanimity. And equanimity is the ultimate goal for all our spiritual practices. So, my dear friends, that is why it's important that we be aware of our body at any point of time, right? And there's an interesting concept called body schema. Some of us coming from IT, we know what the schema is, the database schema. What is a body schema? The brain constructs a dynamic real-time map of our entire body. It integrates signals from our muscles, organs, skin, and our proprioception, which is the body position in space. So it's always the body schema, right? So it provides a map. It's like a body map, right? And that keeps on constantly updating that, and that is what our brain knows. And if you look at it, some of you have seen some of the neuroscience slides. The different parts of the brain relate to different parts of our body, and different parts of the different senses as well. And this body schema is updated every millisecond, millisecond by millisecond, and it usually operates below a level of conscious awareness. So let's say you are well, you feel good. Suddenly you have a bad cold, you have a bad pain. What happens? You don't feel as well, right? Why is that? It's the same body before and after, but your body schema gets updated. It gets updated with weak signals from some parts of the body, and that makes you feel weak. So most people are disconnected from this body schema, and that is why all problems arise. We notice something is wrong or something scream for attention only when there is severe pain, only when there is extreme hunger. We'll ignore all other signals, right? And even when you want to go to the bathroom, it's always urgent. Only then you act on it. So you don't listen to the signals. And we also miss subtle signals, right? Building tension from stress, shallow breathing. The moment we observe our breathing becomes shallow, we're not breathing from the abdomen or just from the chest, then we know we are anxious. And tiredness starts accumulating throughout the day. So when we are aware of the body, most of the time we miss signals, and that results in illness. The moment we are aware of the body, it kind of we are able to kind of make some adjustments to it. So this is why, my dear friends, the body schema is what we're going to study. Body schema is what is going to tell you what is different happening, right? And the body schema gets updated every millisecond. And body schema tells us, it also includes the inner perception. For example, hunger. And that is why we say when you're eating mindfully, when we're eating mindfully, we exactly know when to stop. And a lot of people have told, a lot of people have said that, right? I was able to stop, I was able to eat appropriately as much as I need, rather than eating for your mind. Anytime you continue eating beyond that signal that you get from your body, you are adding that food purely for pleasure and your mind, right? So that's where interoception is continuously accessing your body schema. And interoception increases as your awareness increases. Right? Interoception is nothing but inner perception, your conscious ability to access your body schema, reading real-time body signals, like turning up on the volume on the body wisdom. So what are the benefits of increased interoception? Deepak Chopra talks about this elaborately in his book on quantum body. So the moment you master, the whole objective of mindfulness and awareness is kind of develop that interoception, right? So what are the benefits of enhanced interoception? Stress management. You're able to feel tension building in your shoulders and relax immediately. You notice breath becoming shallow. You kind of consciously deepen, take more, better, longer breaths. And energy management. You're able to sense fatigue. You're able to relax when you need to. You're able to sense fatigue, authentic fatigue versus mental resistance, right? And you prevent burnout that way. You keep monitoring your health, detect early sign of illness. I think we covered that. And emotional intelligence. You feel emotions and body before they overwhelm thinking. As I said, we'll talk about that. The chain, what happens when from feeling to emotion to reaction. What is that chain that happens? We'll talk about it. And Buddha found that the earliest part that you are able to kind of manage is a feeling. The moment you notice a feeling as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, that is when you can take an action before it becomes a full-blown anger, full-blown excitement, full-blown anxiousness, right? So then we are able to respond skillfully rather than reacting blindly. So mindfulness of body is nothing but being aware of what is happening in your body, both inside your body as well as on the surface of your body, including tension, including sensations, including the movement of the moment. There is a, some of you might have heard the story about Buddha as he was walking along with his disciples, right? And then he waved his hand, something like this. And then immediately after some time, he again waved that hand consciously. Immediately one of his disciples asked him, why did you do that again? And Buddha says, earlier when the fly came, I did that unconsciously. I wanted to be mindful of it. So he kind of does it again. So a lot of us, when we present, right? I mean, I cultivated that awareness. I'm aware of how I am moving my hands. I'm aware of how I am walking around when I do these talks, right? So that is introspection. That is mindfulness of the body. We'll talk a lot more about mindfulness of body in the part two. And I want to kind of quickly talk about our standard meditation practice. You all know it's anapanasati, but how does that help build the practice of attention and awareness? And if you look at it, there is a setup where you keep your spine right. We'll do that meditation right now. And 10 to 20 minutes for beginners. For people who are new here, I'll walk you through the process. And what we do in this meditation is we, 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 we continue to observe our breath. We focus our attention on our breath, either our nostrils or our stomach or our chest region. We focus our attention on our breath. And when we are aware, when you become aware of any distractions, any thoughts, right? You notice when thoughts arise, you label briefly, or you can bring your attention back to your breath. This is one technique. Anytime your thoughts arise, you can label them. Labeling is a powerful method for you to let go of thoughts. So what we do is we selectively focus attention on the breath, focusing attention on our breath. We are aware of our thoughts. Anytime our mind wanders, we bring our attention back to our breath. And that is how Anapanasati trains our attention and awareness. So when you have strong attention without awareness, we have tunnel vision, we lose context. We just go by the path that we choose. We are not ready for adapting. We are not ready. We are not being flexible for what we're doing, right? And similarly, when you have strong awareness without attention, we are not able to focus. We're all always aware of the 20 tasks, but we can't complete one. Mindfulness is nothing but strong attention plus strong awareness. And every meditation strengthens attention. In meditation, we continue to keep doing the practice. We continue to keep doing the practice, right? And lastly, and we will cover this in a minute, in something more for people who are new here, the neuroscience behind meditation, as you know, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It shifts our brainwave patterns from beta, high, anxious beta waves to relaxed alpha waves to healing, deep relaxation, theta waves. And it also enhances coherence. It reduces amygdala activation. It reduces the limbic brain activation. And long-term benefits of meditation, a lot of studies, one famous Harvard study which spoke about brain changes happening in as little as 8 weeks. So increased gray matter in prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, enhanced neuroplasticity, improved attention networks. We'll cover a lot more. And then some of the research findings, as you see, 47% reduction in anxiety symptoms, 8 weeks to change, to see the structural brain changes. All this happens with just minimum as a 10 minutes daily. 10 minutes every day is a lot better than 1 hour a week. Because neuroplasticity means you have to repeatedly exercise those networks, again and again and again. All right. So, my dear friends, I know because we did a lot of introductions, so we took some time. So we will dive into a practice of meditation. The key points, the key takeaways from today. Maybe I should cover that before we dive into the meditation. All right. So sorry. So I want to kind of talk to you about this practice as well. So every mindfulness session, every session, we'll also learn one practice, one non-meditation practice that we can consciously do, right? And this is called the miraculous sigh. You can search, and it's probably available in a lot of neuroscience or psychology books. So the miraculous sigh is nothing but you breathe in, as you can see, breathe in slow and long. You hold for a couple of seconds, and then you open your mouth and relax, right? Audible, and then you pause. So it's also kind of a little bit of a box breathing, but not exactly box breathing, right? So you breathe in long, hold for a couple of seconds. So like this. So that's how you do it, right? So you open your mouth and let go of that, and then you stay at the end of the sigh. right? We will do that at the end of our meditation. And this is like an instant relaxation technique. And it moves your body to parasympathetic nervous system. It activates your vagus nerve. It releases muscle tension. It oxygenates your brain and resets your breathing pattern. So this is an exercise that you can always reset whenever you are anxious. So breathe in long, hold for a few seconds, and then when you are tired of holding, then you open your mouth and exhale. And then again you hold for a few seconds. You can repeat this minimum of 3 times. You can see a shift, perceptible shift in your consciousness. All right. So, okay, sorry. All right. So some of the takeaways here from this session, right? So we briefly spoke about the 4 foundations framework. We said mindfulness can be trained, which is what we are in this process. Our body is our foundation. Body is always necessary to anchor ourselves in the present moment. And standard practice of breath mindfulness meditation is what we're going to do. We have seen a little bit about the science, but science is solid. And we talked about one practical tool for us to become aware. And as I said, progress. 10 minutes every day is a lot better than the, what to say, better than 1 hour a day, 1 hour in a week, right? And our practice, I think I'll come to that in a minute. So, but let's get into this practice of meditation. I will kind of play some music and I'll guide you through certain steps, not too different for people who are practicing anapanasati meditation, not too different, but then there is some additional guidance that we will do. All right. For people who are new to our practice, all we do is, for people who are wearing spectacles, please remove your spectacles, close your eyes, clasp your fingers like this, and allow this to rest on your lap. You cross your feet at your ankle. All right, you cross your feet at your ankle and then just sit comfortably with your back straight, relaxed. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed, and forehead relaxed, right? And then you bring your attention, I'll guide you through that. You bring your attention to your nostrils or to your tummy, wherever you're able to feel the breath, and continue observing the breath without altering the breath, without analyzing whatever is happening. And as you do that, your attention will drift. Attention will go to thoughts, attention will go to distractions. The moment you're aware, that is where awareness comes into play. The moment you're aware of the distractions, you bring your attention back to your breath. So attention, you're learning to focus. Awareness, when anytime you're finding distraction, you'll do. Once this distraction stops, then awareness starts looking for sensations in our body. That's the next stage of meditation, where we feel sensations in our body. We call that piti, right? Vitarka, vikara, piti. So that is the sensation that we feel, and then it goes into rapture and delight and bliss, something like that. We'll cover all that later. All right. So with that, let's dive into our practice of breath mindfulness. Please close your eyes, clasp your hands, cross your feet at your ankle. Slowly become aware of your room, become aware of the way you are sitting. Just feel your body sitting on the chair. Feel your feet touching the floor or the cushion. Feel your body, feel yourself sitting in the room. My dear friends, for the next 12 minutes, there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to fix. Just simply be. Feel your body relaxed first thing. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your forehead. Slowly bring your attention to your nostrils or your chest region or your stomach region. And start observing your breath. Do not change anything about your breath. Practice the skill of focusing, skill of gaining attention. Your mind wanders. You catch that through your awareness. Bring your attention back to your breathing. Breath is a function of body. When you place attention on your breath, over time your breath softens. Your breath restores itself to your normal, natural breathing pattern. If you're anxious, it calms down. You can notice the quality of each breath. It's a long breath. Is it a short breath? Is it passing through your left nostril, passing through your right nostril? You'll be able to do that as your attention refines to finer levels. Feel anchored in your body. Just observe or notice the breath happening in your body. while we maintain peripheral awareness of distractions. Five more minutes of conscious observation of our breathing. Just your breath, your attention, and your awareness. Mindfulness allows you to stay with your breath. Make that choice to return to your breath after any distraction. As you continue to observe your breath, feel the movements in your stomach region. On your every inhale, your stomach goes out. On your every exhale, your stomach goes in. We are connected to our body. We are aware of our body as we continue to be paying attention to our breath. Feel your mind calming down. Feel your breath relaxing your body. Keep your body relaxed. Last 2 minutes of attention on your breath, awareness of your body. Last 1 minute. Now, my dear friends, slowly let's practice the miraculous sigh. Slowly take a long in breath. Hold for a couple of seconds and open your mouth and exhale. Slow, long inhale. Hold your breath. Then slow, long exhale through your mouth. Hold for a couple of seconds. You can do that for 3 times. And then place your palms on your eyes and open your eyes. Wonderful, my dear friends. I know we kind of didn't spend too much time on meditation, but we will do that. And I don't know if there was any issues with the music, the volume. Please do let me know your feedback if I need to um, fix things. So before we dive into Q&A, I just want to quickly show the homework till we get to the next session. Obviously, everyday practice, minimum 10 minutes of breath meditation and maybe some meditation in the evening, right? 10 minutes and 10 minutes minimum. Please do practice for who are new to meditation. And then we have a spot practice, mindfulness practice. You can practice this miraculous sigh that we learned, this whole thing about, okay, one second. The whole long inhale, hold, and exhale through your mouth and hold. And then I would suggest doing one mindful activity. When I say mindful activity, as I said, being there with all your senses and awareness. So it could be as simple as brushing your teeth or taking a shower. How mindful are we? How aware are we? How aware are we of the water, the temperature of the water falling on our skin, or brushing the bristles of the brush touching the sensitive gums in our teeth, right? Or it could be washing dishes, making coffee, walking to the car, mindful eating, mindful walking, anything. So please practice with full mindfulness. And then as you continue through this program, we will also do a survey later. So please keep a mind wandering journal as you do these practices. How much time are you able to kind of be a lot more aware and in the present moment, and where does your mind go most often? You will be amazed when you go back and see the at the end of the week, if you see your mind wandering journal. It's simple notes during and after meditation, and where does your mind go? Just keep noticing the patterns. You'll be amazed to find some of the patterns that you discover. All right. So with that, so thanks for joining. I'll be open for questions. Let me also look at the chat window. If you have any questions, you can please type your questions on the chat window, or I'll allow you to unmute and you can ask me questions. And again, apologies for people who are not able to join. I need to fix the issue with the Zoom subscription, I believe. Okay, so I've not stopped the share. All right. So wonderful. Body is the gateway to the present moment. Yes, absolutely. So any more questions, please feel free to type it on the chat window. Otherwise, we will meet on Friday evening at the same time. We'll talk a little bit about more about mindfulness of body, and more importantly, mindfulness when our body is in movement, mindfulness of movement of our body. That's what we will practice. And the recording of these sessions will be available on the Pyramid Valley YouTube channel by tomorrow. It will take some time. We will take the Zoom recording and upload it there. So it will be available hopefully within 24 hours of these sessions. And yeah, I will kind of get your email by the end of the 6 sessions. And for those of you who need slides, we will share definitely. Everything is for you, nothing to hold. All right, mindful journaling. Basically, just maintain a notebook and continue. There's a question on what is mindful journal, more details. You can just take a notebook. Don't try to do it on the phone, but take a notebook, and then every day as you go through these mindfulness exercises, as you go through this meditation, you can keep recording the status. In fact, next session I'll talk about an app as well. So you can try recording things on that, and just note things down on how your mind wandered, what happened, right? And during the day, how often were you aware of your body? For example, tension building up, were you aware of your tension in your shoulders, in your neck? Were you able to relax it? So it's all about the mindfulness of body. All right. What should we make? I think I explained. Anything else? Anyone else has any questions? You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask a question as well. Can I show the homework again? Wonderful. Yes, so that's the homework. Daily practice of meditation, minimum 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. And this miraculous sigh practice, the breath practice that we did, and choosing one activity and doing it mindfully. I think you should try mindful eating. You'll be surprised how wonderful, how delicious that plain looking upma is. All right. So mindful activity. And then keep a mind wandering journal for you to be noting down things of awareness, right? So please join the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group link is there in your email invite. So if you can join that and you ask any questions during the day or between the sessions, I'll be able to answer, or we can share some of these also there. So please join the WhatsApp group. All right, so looks like, let me see again, open up the chat. I hope this is good. Yes, there's a question. Can my friend join without registration? Yes, of course. If you can pass on the Zoom link, he'll be able to join. But if you have his email, we'll be able to send any other information, slide decks and all that later. All right, so please feel free to share. And again, please have people join the sessions. I mean, this is just the first session. So you have 5 more sessions. For people who have missed this, you want more people to join, please send out the invites and you can have them join the second session. Of course, the YouTube recordings will be available by tomorrow. All right. So yes, we have a hand raised by Dr. Gargi, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful, wonderful session.
I'm not able to hear you. One sec.
Now, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir, for an excellent session. This is the first time I'm attending your session. My question is like I'm used to doing anapanasati, so I can focus my attention on the breath. But like you said, while the attention is on the breath, awareness on the body. So this I didn't understand fully. Like what we feel during meditation, like when we are not feeling the hands or we are feeling the like the body is moving. Is that awareness of the body? The meditation experiences basically.
Yes. So yeah, obviously when your body moves, you're aware of it, right? But even without your body moving, right, are we aware of the body? So you don't get lost in advanced stages of meditation, you will lose physical awareness of the body, which is okay, right? But to begin with, the second step of practicing breath mindfulness meditation, anapanasati, is at some point you'll feel sensations throughout your body, right? The whole idea is that as long as you're feeling sensations any part of the body, that means you are aware of your body. It's not about conscious focus on the body. So next session we will do something called a body scan, which is pretty much awareness of the body, right?
Okay.
So in this case, what you're doing is fine.
Okay, sir. Okay. So basically, meditation experiences are that awareness of the body thing.
Meditation experience, there are some mental experiences also, right? So seeing vision, seeing colors,
Not that, but
uh,
the body
body
experiences.
physical experiences, awareness of the body, but they are involuntary, they are response. But what we want you to do is consciously be aware of your body.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if I've confused you enough.
So little, little bit.
Okay.
Actually, I'm so used to focusing on the breath
Perfect,
that.
ma'am. So no, continue that. Don't alter that.
Okay.
Continue that. Right. So
Okay.
as you
Okay.
do that, you become aware of your body. That is all. See, for
Okay.
some of us, we go into a zone. Sometimes a lot of people say I have headache, right? And then that's when we say headache is because a lot of focus is out there. So then you move your awareness to your chest, move your awareness to your body, right? And then as you continue the practice of anapanasati meditation, when you feel sensations in your body, right? So that is awareness of body. Period.
Okay. 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 Fine.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your sharing. All right. Anything else? Wonderful, dear friends. I guess WhatsApp link to join. One sec. Let me see if I can post that. First, did I stop the sharing? Yes, I stopped the sharing. Bear with me. I will just quickly post. Or if any of you have that handy, you can post as well. Yes,
Sir, you have
thank you.
shared, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Wonderful, Media Masters. So thank you and have a nice next couple of days before we see you on Friday. Please continue to be with the journey. It will be amazing and miraculous. Please have your friends and family also join. All right. Thank you. Namaste. See you later.